Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Speaking of no mathematician, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
So Dave Meltzer says the belief in WWE is Karrion Kross is going to be back, but we'll see. They are not telling anyone anything, but everyone is pretty skeptical, Bryan. It's like, actually, are they working the boys on this if he comes back? Yeah, because they've worked everybody on everything. They're just not telling the boys about who's conscious. It's not their business to tell other boys their contracts. Unless they want you to think it's expired, then you're going to hear about it. You can say yes, but it's not like they're being fooled. It's not like these guys are coming and going like, oh, no, he's really gone. No one is saying that. They're just sort of like, we don't know and whatever. Dave, exactly. Since the dawn of time, they just say we don't know and whatever. Drew McIntyre's not running around worried about, they're keeping something secret. Brock could be here. It's not like this big, overly concerning thing, if Karrion Kross is re-signed or not to everyone back there. So it's just silly how Dave's like, they're just sort of like, we don't know and whatever. Yeah, that's how everything is. So everyone's favorite. Looks like we will have more counter-programming. So again, this wrestling war wages on. Dave Meltzer and Bryan here are about to fantasy mark book like Konnan getting fired. Because why? I'll break that down when we get to that clip. But Bryan here is crying about more counter programming. Again, they want to be competition. They want to be number 2. They want to be beating Raw using fake numbers. But when it's like they're going head to head and it's going to f them up, wah, cry baby, wah.
It does appear that WWE will be holding a main roster PLE, not NXT, on Saturday, September 20th, which just happens to be the same day as All Out. Another weekend of fun. A few weeks later, AEW is going to be running a show on Tuesday, October 7th. It will be a special Title Tuesday, they're calling it.
So did they stooge that for real? Title Tuesday?
They're calling it.
Haven't had one of those in a while, huh?
That'll run head-to-head with NXT.
So, okay, so they are calling it that. So it's not Battle of the Belts. It's like Title Tuesday. And so AEW's doing a show at the same time. They're doing Dynamite so that, like, the order of things isn't, like, not entirely out of order. But Dynamite is going to be on Tuesday, and then Collision will be on that Wednesday night. How confusing for fans. That's how AEW's not number one, because Raw's not moving for anything, not even football. It's not, it might start an hour later. They might tape the show, but they're not like moving their day around or whatever. One time it moved to Tuesday. Okay. But AEW does this all the time. Collision's on Thursday, then it's live on Thursday one week, then it's on Saturday, it's live, and then now it's going to be on a Wednesday, which is their usual Dynamite show. Dynamite gets bumped to Tuesday. It's craziness, man.
I cannot wait for the ratings discourse after that head-to-head.
2 head-to-head battles coming your way, friends. 2.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm here for it. Let's wage the war, dude. Dave Meltzer had this to say about this era they're in CMLL. It's a special era in CMLL right now, Bryan. It's a special era. I just don't know what he's on about. He sits here and talks like he just lies about AEW and CMLL because he can't like prove any of this. So I think he's just like lying about it. But
it's a special era in CMLL right now, and I think people aren't seeing it, but people in Mexico are. Because people have been asking me, including in wrestling, as people have asked, like,
people have been asking me, including in wrestling. No, Dave, what else would anyone ask you anything for?
Here's the reality. We all know it. They're going to go back to 6,000 to 10,000 people on Friday nights. It's going to happen. That's how wrestling works. It will not stay like this forever. And the thing is to savor it, as it's happening, and learn why it's happening, and learn the method it happened. But this is their, world-class 1983. This is not like something that's going to be there forever. They'll be around for a long time. Or WWE may wipe off the face of the earth in 5 years. Who knows? Because I don't think it'll happen.
What are you talking about? Or WWE might wipe off the face of the earth. And what, CMLL will take it over?
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Why would that be the fucking case? Here's Dave. Oh, this just in. Dave talking about CMLL.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
What the fuck?
But I wouldn't have thought that WWE would wipe Jim Crockett off the face of the earth by 1988 either. It's a special era.
I thought you predicted all this, and no one's been more accurate than me because I studied the business, Bryan. So why did you not think that they'd wipe them out either? If you fucking studied and learned, Meltzer, maybe you would know.
Learn, baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
So Dynamite Dave fantasy mark books a Roosh versus Hangman Adam Page AEW World Title match on TV, but then buries Roosh and says that, oh, he doesn't like losing. So Meltzer, again, he can't even give people a compliment without shitting on them. He does it all the fucking time. Oh, I'd love to see Hangman and Roosh, but Roosh doesn't like putting people over. And that doesn't, and these marks listen to you, and that doesn't affect people's perception or perspective of Roosh or like his working relationships in the future. He's an idiot. Here's Dave.
And then we had Hangman and Jet Speed versus LFI. And this was a great main event. Hangman and Roosh.
Hangman and Roosh.
Awesome together.
Hangman and Roosh should do a championship match on television.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
They absolutely should do a
Why?
15 to 17 minute
A 15 to 17 minute championship match. Dave, stop booking the stuff. Tony will listen to you.
championship match on television in a couple of weeks. I know Roosh doesn't like to lose, but I think that if he got that match and championship match in a TV main event.
I hate this whole, like, I know Roosh doesn't like to lose. No, he doesn't want to lose to bitch ass motherfuckers. Okay. That's all it is, dude. He doesn't want to lose to people that he's like, I will beat the shit out of them. Well, it's not a shoot. It's a work. We all got to work. Well, he does. He lost to Perry. He fucking laid down for Jack Perry. Don't tell me he won't do business. He beat the shit out of Jack Perry in that match. But yeah, Roosh fucking rules. Yeah, who wouldn't like to see this? But Dave, stop. Like, he thinks he can book this shit. I'm pushing Roosh. I'm pushing for Roosh now, Bryan.
I think that he would be fine losing because...
But he doesn't like to lose, but it'd be fine to lose to the world champ. You think Roosh is going to say, no, I won't lose to the world champ? Why isn't there a story? Why should they have a match? Build it the fuck up. Why can't Roosh be world champion? Why can't they build it up where he's the fucking guy who beats Hangman eventually? There's so many questions, especially with CMLL so hot. Wouldn't you want a Hispanic champion, maybe? A Hispanic, is that the right terminology? A champion, a Mexican or Latino champion? Why wouldn't that be the move? So many questions, Dave.
Quite frankly, it helps him to lose that match. And those two would have a killer match. So, yeah. I mean, that's just my, it's not a pay-per-view match, but you can do a world title match on TV. Just give Roosh a couple of wins over people and only one or two, and just do it. Do it to do it. It'll be a match. They don't do world title matches on TV that much. I mean, you can't do it right away because you can't do it till the pay-per-view. But
I'm sorry, that airs from whatever that fucking, there's like lawnmowers again and whoever phone recorded this.
In the gap between the next two pay-per-views, maybe like 3 weeks away or 2 weeks away off of Forbidden Door, they should just do that match.
They should just do that match before Forbidden Door. They should just do that match. So here is Dave Meltzer. WWE's emphasis on moments and surprises over long-term storytelling is not sustainable. WWE's emphasis on moments and surprises over long-term storytelling is not sustainable. Dave is sitting here inventing shit. Okay?
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
He's just making shit up about WWE. What do you mean? They've had Roman was the champ for 4 years. The bloodline is still going. People are still complaining about MFT bloodline storylines still being carried on. What the fuck is he talking about, man? Just the moments and surprises. That's all AEW had, and now no one talks about AEW. Meanwhile, they just did a moment and surprise. Everyone's talking about WWE. It's the big. They're selling out left, right, and center. It's the big. Everything's fucking colossal right now. Everything I do is real big, colossal. But Dave is like, it's not sustainable. They've been a wrestling company for how many fucking years? How is it not sustainable when they've been sustaining it for this fucking long? It's just such projection and cope.
From your perspective, has WWE's emphasis on moments over long-term payoffs fundamentally changed how they measure booking success?
See, here's the thing. They do the perfect mix of both in WWE. They always have. Even think about eras when WWE was the shits, and then all of a sudden Mark Henry does his fucking retirement heel turn. And you're just like, holy shit. You know, when people are just some of the lowest interest in pro wrestling around that time. I think, right? What year was that? And then he just fucking snapped the salmon jacket. Like, there's always something that's, you can, even Punk, man, Punk and Danielson came in these eras where it was kind of like, whatever. And they were something to cling on to. They've been able to do both. There's moments, there's fucking long-term storytelling. It's a balancing act of everything. Now, what AEW hedged their bets on early on, and this is where Dave is insane. He's literally lost his fucking mind, because otherwise he'd be critiquing this along the way. But they relied on, here's Danielson. Oh, here's Keith Lee. Here's Swerve. Here's Adam Cole. Oh my God, look, Moxley comes out of the crowd. Oh my God, the lights go out. Edge is here in a fucking muscle car. Oh my God, the lights go out. It's snowing. It's Sting. That they just relied on bringing in all of these fucking moments and pops, and lights go out, and Matt Hardy's teleporting. And oh my God, that's what they were banking on as well, was just indie style matches with just how can we surprise the crowd every single week. And then when people just didn't care anymore, and then they ran out of surprises, and Tony realized, fuck, I really gotta buckle down on the storytelling aspect. Now he's starting to try and focus on his core guys and tell stories and shit. 6 years too late. That should have been, like, as soon as Cody Rhodes left and Jericho stopped being featured on top all the time, that's when, and yes, I'm giving Jericho credit here, that's when there's been like no fucking story in AEW at all. And for Meltzer to sit here and act like Judgment Day hasn't been a main focus through line every week for how many fucking years now, and the bloodline isn't still going on, and they're not tying up loose ends with the Punk stuff and all of the Seth stuff with the Shield callback and everything that happened at Mania and everything. Like, there's so many stories. It's a mix of everything in WWE. In AEW, it's a lot of stop, start, and a lot of like, I mean, okay, yeah, these guys don't like each other, but like, there's no merit behind it, really.
Absolutely.
And if so, how sustainable is that model in keeping fan engagement high?
When you're
The fans have never been more engaged in WWE, online, social media numbers. Dave is doing 50% off sales. Just remember that when he's about to say what he's about to say. He's doing fire sales every month. Every month. Every other week, there's a fire sale at the Observer. Or a sign up, fucking, please sign up, 50% off, 10 months, your entire subscription. But yeah, so let's just keep that in mind when he says what he's about to say about fan interest and keeping people's interest, and if it's sustainable and what's sustainable.
High.
When you're booking for,
Meanwhile, look at the year over year for AEW, and he won't say the same thing about AEW. Just remember that when you hear what he's about to say.
moments, knowing that the fans are more interested in moments and not interested in long-term storytelling.
Why would that be the case? The houses are up everywhere, Dave. Why would that? How is there any proof of that? Prove that they're not telling good long-term stories. So Cena's whole heel face turn, his last run, his final ride, as Dustin Rhodes would put it. Cena's run, that's not like a long-term, year-long story that's had ups and downs and twists and turns. I just really fucking don't get what he's talking about, man.
It makes championships secondary.
Championships are not secondary in WWE. It's the entire exact opposite.
It creates a situation where
championships in WWE elevate people in WWE.
You put on a pay-per-view, and I've seen this from some people, you know, sometimes it's a reaction to AEW, sometimes in reaction to WWE when they have a great pay-per-view of there were no surprises, ergo the show was boring. You know, if you don't deliver a surprise, no matter how much you deliver in the ring, no matter how much, it's
okay. That's not true, and I'll explain why. I'm just gonna own Dave with his own fucking logic. Okay, I'm gonna own him with his own logic right here, because he gave the main event wrestling match, Cena versus Cody Rhodes, 5 stars. Okay,
The best guy's Tony Khan.
but then Dave cried about the Brock Lesnar shit like a baby sicko. So there's the proof right there. You cried and hated on the big surprise, and you called them sleazy and hated it and detested it, but you gave the main event wrestling match 5 stars, which we called you out. By the way, Dave, we called out. I disagree with your star ratings, even for WWE matches, by the way. They're all wrong. They're out of whack, and there's no criteria, and they're bullshit. And he gave that match 5 stars because of the wrestling moves and the false finishes and all the weapons and shit. And I called it out as we watched it live together, chat. What did your boy Phil say? I said it. He will give this shit 5 stars because of this bullshit, not because it's like the modern version of Hogan Rock. Like Rhodes and Cena just have insane chemistry, and they're both so fucking over, and you don't really know who's heel, and you're just emotionally invested in everything going on. That's why it's a 5-star match, not because of the fucking kickouts and everything. We called it out. We knew he was going to give that shit 5 stars, right? Yeah, so Dave, we just owned your dumbass logic about all the surprises because you, at least in your mind, like you're not consistent in your bullshit, which we point out all the time, because you gave that match 5 stars and then you cried like a bitch and was like, oh, it's sleazy. No, who would love this about Brock Lesnar's return?
Surprises, ergo, the show was boring. You know,
No one says
if you
no
don't
one says that the show's boring if there's no surprises.
deliver a surprise, no matter how much you deliver in the ring, no matter how much, like, you know, it's like if I don't get a surprise, it's
If I don't get a surprise, that's you, Dave. You're projecting. You're like a little kid. I need a treat bag. What surprise is in there, Bryan?
boring. And that is a very, very dangerous situation to create. It's better for WWE because they have a lot of potential surprises. But even then, you're going to run. You know, how many times can you bring Brock Lesnar back? If the product itself becomes less.
And then Dave doesn't. It's always this like these opinions are shit because they're always like frozen in time. Well, how many times can you bring Brock back? I don't know, Dave. In 20 years, there's going to be like some other crazy. Can you believe it? This fucking thing happened or whatever. It's not just all like frozen in time, isolated right now. Fucking can't stand that mentality.
And less important. It's all about surprises. You are going in a direction that is not sustainable. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what happened to AEW, man. So Dave Meltzer responds, he's just arguing with everyone as usual, and he's arguing with this USA 92 or whatever the fuck. This guy says, when AEW was just starting out and things were going well, they liked threatening WWE's existence. Now they're offended. Exactly. No one's stopping them from doing Dynamite on a Monday. Meltzer said, that sure never happened. Yeah, it did. Jericho said that they'd beat Raw. Tony Khan called them bald assholes. He said that they're in a Friday night war, and he won't stand for this shit. It's in fucking court. I have more money than these guys. He called Vince McMahon, or WWE, actually, the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. He, what else did he say? A bunch of more shit. There's a bunch of more shit I'm forgetting. He said John Cena and Undertaker didn't get a milli. The first time they've ever not been on a show with $1 million. Talked so much shit, and so have the fans, dude. And then he's like, that sure never happened. Dave, you need to study and learn then. But if you need to make something up, have at it. If it did happen, I'd have reported it. So just proving he's a fucking stooge, like proving he's a fake, lying fake faker. Okay. And then Nicolo Piccolo just like posting shit and memeing him and stuff. One Piece has swept the Observer Awards, just making fun of him. But I have to bookmark other people's responses to Dave because Dave has me fucking blocked. So this guy, Backer says, you hedge your predictions like you always do. It's so unbelievably disingenuous. You should honestly be ashamed of yourself, but you are so narcissistic that you can't allow any criticism or accept that sometimes, especially recently, you were wrong. Dave Meltzer said, whatever. I said what was accurate at the moment that it was published. It was a situation in progress. He hadn't signed. I said specifically he hadn't signed. The person playing Gotcha said I said the exact opposite. Yeah, dude, Dave just melting down. I said everything. I just say everything, and then that way you can't tell me that I didn't say nothing. So WWE originally planned, well, this is what Dave had to say. It's about Ashante the Adonis. They originally planned to release him, but then they did until later, at least according to Dave. He says, the deal with Ashante, as you remember when they were doing all those cuts 3 months ago, I thought he was getting a call any day, and I guess what happened was he was going to get cut. So this is just Dave inventing a way to be right about some shit that nobody even knew about or was talking about. And then they kind of realized if they cut him, they would pay him for 90 days, which would have ended his week this week. Then they found out his contract ended this week. It's like from a publicity standpoint, it sounds so much better when his contract expires. Oh man, Dave, it's always a conspiracy theory, dude. Why do you care? Then why didn't you talk about how it looks when Tony Khan shelves people and shit? Like, what the fuck? It's so crazy. And I hate to do this. Well, what about this? But it's a problem, Dave. It's a fucking for sustainability, Dave. It's a problem for sustainability. And you knew this. You'd know this if you've had Big Mac's Wagyu beef or listen to Taylor Swift and study the business. But you fucking don't, Dave Meltzer. And all you do is cope and seethe, dude. That's why we play the fucking song. You guys
are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
So Dave copes more about, he's like, the belief within WWE is that Kross will return. We kind of covered that earlier. We know his sentiments on that. It's a work, but it's a shoot, but I'm right either way, or else you didn't study. And so Bryan Alvarez glazing Kyle Fletcher the same way that Meltzer's been doing. This is their new offspring. And he's just glazing Ishii versus Fletcher. Okay.
Kyle Fletcher and Ishii for the TNT title.
And Ishii.
This match was so great. When it's over, Kyle does his promo, and essentially he says, I've taken out Adam Cole, I've taken out Dustin, Ishii, who's next? He says, Forbidden Door is coming, and I want New Japan to send their best pound-for-pound wrestler for me to beat at Forbidden Door. And I was like, you just did that, brother.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody left. He's the best pound-for-pound wrestler, like, in the fucking world on this particular day. I just was like,
oh my god damn, dude.
You fucking mark.
It's all good. There's a difference in taste, but Ishii, like, that shit is played the fuck out. I'm so sorry. Hate to be that guy. So again, Dave, it's definitely quiet. It's a weird one. He was given an offer. Talking about Karrion Kross. He just doesn't know what the fuck he's even talking about. We don't need to dive too deep. But WWE is reportedly planning Brock Lesnar versus John Cena as the main event of this unannounced September 20 PLE on the same day as All Out. So then an extra date for Cena, or did they just move him off of Raw or something? I wonder. But either way, Meltzer says it can change, but the main event for this show is Brock Lesnar and John Cena. So it's a big one, Bryan, which is why Brock's not in Paris, is because of this. No, I just don't think Brock would go to Paris. I don't think they're dragging his ass to Paris. He'll just do whatever big show they have anytime. They wanted him for this show, not the Paris show, and that's where Logan Paul got the gig. I don't know, man. He's making it up as he goes along. It's all good. So Meltzer, again, he lies and goes, there were signs taken away. Karrion Kross signs confiscated. And then there was a dude we covered it on the show. He holds up the sign. He's like, he took a video. I've been here all fucking night. No one took my sign. He's right on TV. People pointing him out. Dave's just making shit up. Let's hear from the birds. Let's hear the birds' words. And what the $1 million question, the $1 million man. Ted DiBiase's behind it, Bryan. I heard, actually,
Karrion Kross.
Yeah. You know that they did confiscate some of the signs tonight?
Really?
Yeah.
You know, they did. No, what happened was Dave got DMs from someone who may or may not have actually even been at the fucking show, because he will allow anyone to just tag him in tweets or send him DMs and go, I'm at Raw and this is what's happening. And so he could be worked. It could be one asshole just making shit up. And Dave's been caught because of this all the time, and he acts like he has sources.
I mean, nobody chanted, and I heard from several people at the show, and they said, people thought people might chant. Nobody chanted. There were a few signs in the crowd. I didn't see anyone taking them away, and I did see them later in the show. But someone who was there said, yeah, they absolutely took the signs away. Because when
just someone working them, it's so funny.
I was watching the thing and I see the signs right there on screen and go, man, like, if they don't want you to do this,
you'd think Dave would know. I studied the business. I know everything. I'm infinitely wiser. It's like, well, what the fuck then? Is it a work or a shoot, dumbass? Like, do some journalism.
They're taking those signs away, but they actually did. The $1 million question.
They didn't.
Is he talking with AEW? Is he, because if he is, then he's a free agent. If he's not, then there's something else going on.
I will give Dave points for that last point there. That is a Dave Meltzer smart moment of the week, but he's just admitting like how much he actually doesn't know. So we'll give him an E for that. Right? I guess he kind of earned it. So here is WWE history versus reality, Bryan. They cut me out of the dock. I couldn't tell them the real history. Meanwhile, did you guys see this fucking insanely, like, look at his face. Like, what the fuck happened? People, this shit went more viral than the doc. Like, his face being out of whack and people criticizing the makeup lady on Vince. Yeah, Dave too. And he barely got used in this thing. He's all butthurt about it. And again, Dave, sleazy company. WWE's a sleazy company, but let me be the first to jump on this fucking dark side of the ring shit and give interviews to TMZ and talk shit about Hulk Hogan and Vince. This same thing Vince will be featured on. Let me go be featured on that same fucking thing because it's just sleazy to bring Brock back though and shit. Like, these guys are such goofballs, man. But it's WWE history versus reality again. Like, AEW doesn't do the same thing. Like, WCW wouldn't do this. Like, Paul Heyman doesn't do the same thing when he reminisces about ECW. Come on, man.
So Fox is doing their thing tomorrow night, and we'll see how that one goes. Vince
is that the one where that you didn't think that they liked any of your answers?
I don't think they liked any of them because they cut me out, Dave. Because you do what Bryan did on the news. Bryan, and we covered this on the show. We're going to cover you on the show in a minute here, Dave. But Dave did, I'm talking to Dave like he's listening. We know you're listening. He, like, Bryan starts like spurging out, talking about all this shit when it comes to Hulk Hogan, and the news lady's like, I'm just here to mark out about Hulk Hogan. This is like local news. I don't know about this Mark shit you're talking about. I'm just trying to fucking fangirl out over Hulkster on this news show. I don't know. So, and unfortunately, that's the news, right? And but Meltzer, it's they didn't like my answers. Well, that's good you got that sense, and it's because they probably heard you talking and going off on these fucking tangents about, I mean, they said 93,000 at WrestleMania. That wasn't true. They're just sitting there like, okay, what the fuck? Like, so you really don't know anything. It's not that they didn't like your answers, Dave. It's that you just didn't know anything and you're not entertaining and charismatic. You are only when I make fun of you. And so it's just, they're like, we're going to cut and edit all this shit out. It adds nothing. Do you get it, Dave? 50% off the Observer right now, chat. Go and get it.
Yeah. Their history that they wanted was wrestling was this business that was in little buildings and,
they didn't want to hear the
keeps going back to this. This is the old territory days shit, Dave. No one cares anymore. WrestleMania 3. It's fucking 70,000 years ago, dude.
Still history.
No. They didn't want the real history when I mean, we'll see. And then Hulk Hogan came and, big crowds started coming to wrestling.
It was one thing like 100 years ago where you had to read some book by some guy or something. But it's like you can go back and find footage from like 1980. I mean, they had footage of Shea Stadium and, all those Hogan retrospectives. I mean, it's not hard to find pre-1984 wrestling footage. Like, you could actually look at it for yourself.
What? Who cares? What are they even talking about? What did I miss, chat? What are they talking about? Why did it get to, in the tape libraries and get the old stuff from pre? They're not there to talk about Super Destroyer, you fucking marks. They're there to talk about him saying the N-word while he was buck-ass naked on that fucking tape that got leaked and people booing him and Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon gets clicks because he's a canceled guy or whatever who looks like Pepe Le Pew now. That's what they're interested in. It's TMZ. What did I miss something? Am I the redact here? What happened?
Not read about it, but like, look at that. There's a lot of people there. They're hot.
There's photographs of 28,000 people for Gotch and Hackenschmidt.
Gives a fuck. This wasn't about Gotch and Hackenschmidt. They say the territories were dead. They were dying out. They were skimpy, rinky dink. Is that even the sentiment? I don't think that's the sentiment anymore, Dave. I think you're behind the times. I think maybe like 15 years ago, that's what people said. We're still saying, but that's when that notion sort of died out. I really honestly think that people acknowledge and understand that these territories were massive and doing good business still, a lot of them, and Vince still swooped in and took the top fucking stars from everywhere. That's how they're acknowledged. Oh, he took the top stars from everywhere, made the superstars fucking show, you know? Dave is just so behind the times, man.
At a time when, Major League Baseball wasn't getting that. Nobody was getting that except for the biggest college football games and maybe some horse
Okay,
races.
so what does that have to do with Hulk Hogan dying and these guys going, "Oh, we got it first," and then Vince McMahon being canceled and being in all this shit, and then them doing this sleazy doc about his death and the Gawker tape again? What does Hackenschmidt have to do with any of that? Holy shit, Dave Meltzer. And so Dynamite Dave, he fantasy mark books Roosh versus Hangman. And Meltzer said what? We listened to that. Meltzer said what? Says, do you remember a whole 24 hours ago when the dancing Dynamite fraudster Dave Meltzer fantasy booked Roosh facing Hangman for the world title if Roosh got 2 wins? Now, while recapping Raw, Dave mocks the idea of Sami Zayn getting a title shot after 2 wins. You cannot make this shit up that Dave Meltzer does.
Poor people don't like AEW.
So again, he's like, Roosh should get 1 or 2 wins and then world title match, Bryan, I'm telling you. He's now criticizing WWE for Sami Zayn, who people were saying should have beat Roman Reigns, for him getting 2 wins than getting a title shot. Let's listen.
Sammy met with Pierce, asked if he was going to get his world title match at Clash in Paris. And Pierce,
Okay, so what has he done to earn a world title match?
well, he won a match. He's won 2 matches in a row now. He won at SummerSlam and he won at
From Kross, who's
won on
nobody.
SmackDown. Got that big.
Well, that's a great.
From Kross, who's not with the company, but if he showed up on Dynamite tomorrow, I'd fucking cream my pants.
Excuse for him to get a U.S. title match, not a world title match.
Well, the point is, Dave, he ain't getting one, but he wants one.
Yeah,
and he was told.
I presume he's getting. I'm presuming they're going to do a U.S. title match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I mean that's what the finish of this match led to.
So anyway, he was told to go wrestle Rusev, and we'll deal with it.
Go Power Rangers. More than meets the eye, Bryan. Go Transformers, Bryan. So Dynamite Dave fantasy mark book. Speaking of his fantasy mark booking, let's hit an X-Files here for fantasy mark booking. So Dave Meltzer, right? He sits there and he shits on Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan for their real American freestyle wrestling shit. And he's like, oh, you could book it against Tony Khan then and prove that you're better. And then everyone, not everyone, Meltzer said what? And your boy Philly Phil here at PWT pointed out, hey, Meltzer, then by your own logic, Konnan is a better booker than fucking Tony Khan then, because he's been booking AAA successfully. They're selling out, blah, 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 blah. And they did that AAA show on YouTube, and it did outdraw AEW shit. Konnan! And you're like, oh, you can run a wrestling show and get more viewership and more attendance. Then, okay, Konnan's AAA did that. Fucking did that. Beat Tony Khan. So now Dave, in his spare time, like, this is why he's going so hard for CMLL as well. Because CMLL as well. Okay. This is why he's going so hard, though, because AAA, owned by WWE, 51% now. And of course, I don't need to say it, but let me just say it for the dummies in the back. Yeah, it's because he's got to now defend the way he defends AEW. And I'm not saying CMLL is doing bad business, but he's fantasy mark booking Konnan getting fired now, because Konnan has beaten, like, people pointed out that fact. Okay, by your own logic. And he just wants AAA to like die now. He hopes like CMLL absorbs it, and he's just going to push this notion that CMLL is bigger than WWE, Bryan, so's AW. So let's take a listen to him fantasy mark booking K-Dog.
Konnan!
To get fired here.
Rey Mysterio inducts Konnan into the AAA Hall of Fame.
I wonder if it's going to be a JR thing. I shouldn't even speculate that. Because you remember when JR was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I wonder if it's going to be a JR thing. You can tell Bryan just says nothing. He's like, what the fucking retarded thing are you about to say right now? And then Dave fucking goes, oh, because if you remember when JR got inducted.
Because you remember when JR was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I shouldn't even speculate that, but let me just make up this thing and speculate on it and then float it out there to the redax who read my fucking message board, and then they'll pretend it's real news.
I mean, that was supposed to be his last night with the company. Remember? I don't know if you remember that, but
I don't remember that.
Yes, because when JR was inducted into the Hall of Fame, in Chicago. That's why JR loves Chicago. Because remember, they got this incredible pop when they announced it. And they were just kind of like, oh my God, we can't fire him after this. So they didn't. But that was scheduled to be his last show. Was
what the fuck does that have to do with Konnan, who's commentating the fucking Dave's like, WWE's just taking it all over. No, bro. Konnan, they listen, this is how this works, and I don't know who told me this. I completely forget.
Allegedly.
Fucking Borash and Konnan. Like, Konnan books the shit. Borash does have his fingerprints on, like, okay. He's just like the guy between WWE and AAA, essentially, when it comes to the creative and what's going on, what matches they want on Triple Mania and stuff like that. I just don't know why Dave would even throw this out there. It's such a crazy ass thing to even throw out there.
He would do the Raw, then he would do the Hall of Fame, and then he's out of there.
Yeah. Well,
Bryan's just like, why? Okay. All right.
Hope not.
Fucking JR was talent relations and a commentary guy.
He did a good job on commentary on that.
Konnan books the shows and has been before WWE. Even like he's just books the shit. He's a talent and he talks the talent shit. He's on TV as well. Konnan goes on TV and heels. Dave, don't you watch AAA? I thought you watched all this shit.
He's not on commentary this
He's
time.
not doing commentary. Okay,
JBL.
Yeah. Well. So
Corey Gray.
No. But hold on. They said Konan's not doing commentary. JBL's doing commentary with Corey Graves. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but isn't Konnan doing commentary too? Didn't he say it's going to be a 3-man thing, or is it JBL and Graves? I'm interested.
Okay, so Corey was great on the first one.
Yeah, Dave, how would you know? You were watching WWE Espanol. So Dave's like, Corey was great on the first one. Here's the thing, Dave. You were watching WWE Espanol and tried to peddle the WWE Espanol YouTube numbers. So that means either you were lying when you pushed the WWE Espanol numbers out there, or because they would have had the Spanish commentary. Literally, we just caught you in a fucking lie, Dave, right now. So when you tweeted out, oh, they're only doing this much on YouTube, either you intentionally looked at the Espanol numbers and tried to trick people.
Liar!
Okay? Or you're a dumb fuck and are lying right now, and you like, okay, maybe you realized halfway through the show or whatever. Like, either way, you were listening to Spanish commentary, brother.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
We can just pull your goddamn card there, Meltzer. And I feel bad for Konnan because Konnan's been so nice. He's been like, no, I'm not going to shit on Dave. And then Husey even came on this show and he's like, you know what? Fuck Dave now. Like, I was cool with him because I produced the show and blah, blah, blah. But like, you know, he's just such a weasel. And it's like, yeah, fucking, I got nothing but respect for Konnan. Had that whole meltdown defending Meltzer. And now fucking Meltzer's going to say shit like this because he's mad that like Konnan's doing better as a draw and a creative and a booker, if you think about it, than Tony Khan is. So again, here's strike 2. Lucha Blog says it got lost in the aggregation. Yeah. So here, dude, we fucking owned you. Dude, we own you. Thank you, Lucha Blog. Shout out Lucha Blog. We own you, Dave. Look, Dave, you got to study and learn.
Baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Oh, yeah. So Konnan could be fired. So Dave there was a mistranslation, or in the aggregation, there was one anecdote that was missed, or maybe not even an anecdote, maybe a factoid we can refer to it as, that was missed. Okay. And that is that. And this is what Lucha Blog had to say. It got lost in the aggregation, but on the podcast, JBL mentions Konnan is also still doing commentary for Triple Mania. It's a 3-man booth. So Dave doesn't do his research, doesn't do his diligence, doesn't call Konnan. Fantasy fucking Mark. Konnan's his friend, by the way. Konnan's his fucking friend. He could call on the phone. And instead of calling him or anything, he fantasy Mark books his demise because it has nothing to do with CMLL. And he brings it. Oh, he's not even going to be there. It's a 2-man booth, JBL and Corey Graves. So they're adding JBL. And fucking Dave Meltzer says some dumb shit like that because he doesn't do his diligence. He doesn't fucking study the business. He doesn't learn. He doesn't call his friends. He doesn't text anyone. He doesn't care. He just reads fucking DMs and people who dick lick him.
You know, poor people don't like AEW.
So there you go, man. He just completely botched that after talking about He extrapolates. Now, do you guys see this? It's a classic Dave spin or a classic Dave extrapolation. So what he does, and this is what he does with everything. This is one we can prove solidly in court. You're guilty. You're done. You're cooked. You didn't even do your diligence. You didn't even ask a fucking translator. You're done. Here's the thing with Dave. Every fucking story he tells, there's a little nugget of he read something and then he just invents a bunch of shit from there. And it's like AI generate. You like take a picture, it's something real, and then you go generate all this fake shit in the background to fucking fill this out. That's what it is. That's what he's doing with everything all the time, constantly. And we call it out here, but that's when we could prove. And I'm just telling you, like, that's so glaringly obvious. They're all glaringly obvious. Just think about how much he's actually doing this that people are unaware of. It's fucking crazy. So again, Dave, he talks about history versus reality. He did make the final cut of this fucking doc, and they just cut him out because he looks like a fucking David Icke reptile guy, and he's sitting there like, well, you know, the real history. You guys have your, if you go back to Shea Stadium, well, when Hulk was the Super Destroyer, Bryan, they're like, did you see him fucking Bubba the Love Sponge's wife or not, bro? We're trying to like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? Who booked this guy? Harvey Levin's like, what the, you know, you're the fucking bizarro version of me. Like, what happened? So Dave Meltzer, he says, I likely know more about wrestling TV ratings than all but a few people alive, and nobody has ever covered it anywhere near the same level of depth, but you'll always be one of the ones who writes me stupid things and is incapable of learning. And then Disco Inferno's like, no, you don't. This is not accurate. And then I quote tweeted this. I was like, he's almost at padded room status. It's incoming. It's just this weird, like, oh, everyone alive. I know more than. It's like, if you got to say it, bro, I don't know if it's true. So Switchblade says the mythical max numbers analysis on numbers that no one knows. So Meltzer, again, just a paragraph. Collision did 423K, 0.08 against NFL and UFC, among others. Giant rise over 50 would indicate similar rise under 50 on streaming. There's a big rise over 50. So you can just automatically assume that there was a huge rise on streaming and under 50. Nope. UFC was on, dumb bitch. Nope, that's not how it works. And then you don't apply the same logic to Netflix. You do the opposite. You're like, oh, well, it's fucking the key demo. Not a lock, but that would be the common sense. People without the common sense can complain at 3, 2, 1. Just based on bullshit is common sense, according to Dave. So, guys, for the main event of the evening here, I got sent this fucking 70 billion trillion fucking times. I was sent this. Okay, and this is from Vince Russo's thing. Vince Russo's, what is it called? Just Vince Russo's YouTube channel. Okay, and it's called Dave Has a Bad Day. RussosBrand.com, bro. And they EFAP this fucking Dave Meltzer on the news thing. Now, I have a 350 clip of it. There's like a 10-minute version. We stayed out and rocked. This is PWT After Dark late night tonight. Guys, show your support any way you fucking can. And let's get into this. We're going to just EFAP this fucking long video. I just decided, fuck it. We're going to rock out tonight. Yeah, we're going to definitely do that. Here is Vince Russo. Go and subscribe to his channel. Look, I'll give it a like there. I'm subscribed. You guys can see that. Let's watch them react to Dave Meltzer on the fucking news. It's a 10-minute long video. You know, I'm going to pause and do shitty impressions. If it's not for you, bro, wrestling, right? So here we go. Jeff Lane, Vince Russo. Here is Dave Meltzer on the news, which if I just had the footage of the news, I'd just EFAP it myself, but we're going to EFAP and EFAP here.
Coverage of Hulk Hogan's
YouTube
death. Let's go to News Nation's coverage.
Bring in Danny Meltzer now. Dave Meltzer now.
Yeah. Danny boy. Yes. It starts brilliant. Like right off the bat, Danny Meltzer.
Yes.
What did they call him last time?
Danny Meltzer. I would be up there with any journalist recognized among the greats. Coming on now, Danny Meltzer. Like, you can't make this shit up, dude.
Danny Meltzer now. Dave Meltzer now.
Yeah. Danny boy. Yes. It starts brilliant. Like right off the bat, Danny Meltzer.
Yes.
What did they call him last time? Dave Messler, one of the things.
Yeah, Messler.
Right?
Messler, yeah.
So now we got Danny Meltzer.
Danny Mestler. Oh my God.
Bring in Danny Meltzer now. Dave Meltzer now. He's a journalist covering professional wrestling since the 80s, around the time that Hulk Hogan.
And then look at his face. His ego couldn't handle that. Oh my God. Yeah, 626. Don't go anywhere. This is the main event. How could you go anywhere? Dude, look at how his ego can. Oh, dude, look.
Meltzer now. Dave Meltzer now. He's a journalist covering.
And he like has a nervous twitch. Oh, I can't believe that one of my peers would. I've been covering it since the 80s. It's like Opie Hughes, Greg Opie Hughes. Oh, I've been doing this since I was 18. Radio show since I was 18.
Professional wrestling since the 80s, around the time that Hulk Hogan, of course, shot to fame. He's the editor and publisher of the Wrestling.
Keep it. That's the best part. Is I know you will anyway, but keep your eyes on Danny here, because
well, I don't know what's going on. Danny is growing a third eye or something. That's new on the forehead. I don't know where that came from all of a sudden, but let's go, man.
Why do these people have him on?
Bring in Danny Meltzer now. Dave Meltzer now. He's
and the best part is DDP got to hear her call him Danny Meltzer.
Journalist covering professional wrestling since the 80s, around the time that Hulk Hogan, of course, shot to fame. He's the editor and publisher of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Great to have you here. So you wrote on X today that apparently Hulk Hogan was not in good health lately. There were many rumors, even as recently as a few weeks ago, that he was in a coma. What was happening with him?
I think the coma was overstated. But, he was in rough shape, certainly the last week,
Oh my God. I think the coma was overstated, but it was a coma. But it wasn't that bad of a coma. Shibata in New Japan one time was in a coma. What the fuck, Dave? Holy shit. It's always like I have to try and disprove, like I know more than meets the eye, Bryan. That's how we keep them in business. 50% off.
Couldn't speak and everything. Yeah, I mean, he'd had health problems coming off. He had neck surgery on May 14th.
What is going on with him, bro? What's going? I don't understand. What am I missing?
Squinting.
What is going on here?
There's something wrong with his eyes. I don't know what he's doing.
He's super nervous and his ego can't get over the Danny thing, and he's spurging, trying not to like go off the rails, which he's already doing immediately.
He's on freaking News Nation, bro. What is he doing?
Apparently Hulk Hogan was not in good health lately. There were many rumors, even as recently as a few weeks ago, that he was in a coma. What was happening with him?
I think the coma was overstated. But, he was in rough shape, certainly the last week. He couldn't speak and everything.
This hair dye, it's burning my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he'd had health problems coming off. He had neck surgery on May.
The coma was, listen to this fucking redact. The coma was overstated. I mean, he couldn't speak or anything. What? That's a crazy, how is that overstated? The guy who's known for going, well, let me tell you something, dude. The guy whose voice is iconic and his catchphrases are iconic. His fucking coma was so bad he can't speak. Oh, it was overstated, but I mean, yeah, the health was pretty bad. I mean, how's your day going? I mean, Tony Khan, though, his neck, oh boy.
14th.
Yeah, that's big surgery. When you say neck surgery.
And then she has to go, yeah, that's a big surgery, Danny Meltzer. That's a big surgery. Oh, well, I mean, it's always a work in pro wrestling, This is what Alvarez did on his shit, too. Fucking geeks, man.
Doing, bro? Oh my God! Now that's embarrassing, bro. That's embarrassing.
I remember we had a clip months ago where something was wrong with his eyes there too. I wonder if he's got bad allergies.
I'm a fucking xenomorph.
Health problems coming off. He had neck surgery on May 14th.
Yeah, that's big surgery. When you say neck surgery, this was major surgery.
Oh my God!
I mean, it was overstated. It was overstated a little bit, though.
Yes. So he'd been in and out of the hospital, and it was people who were close to him had kind of told me in the last week that it was bad. They always said it wasn't as bad as the coma story, but it was a lot worse than his friends were leaning on as well.
It looks like a contact problem. I mean, that's what it looks like. It's got to be a contact lens problem.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm crying. I can't. It looks
oh my God, that's so freaking embarrassing. What the frig, man? What are you doing, man?
last week that it was bad. They always said it wasn't as bad as the Coma story.
Was he doing that during the TMZ thing, and that's why they cut him out of that too? I wonder if he was doing the same thing.
But it was a lot worse than his friends were leading on as well.
Americans who don't watch WWE may not understand.
Oh my, what? He's like, oh God. It's like when Tony Khan was being interviewed by Ariel Helwani, and he's like, hold on a sec, I just took a bong rip. Chugs water off screen. Dave's like, oh God, I got a fucking Dave's like, I got a fucking a fly in my eye.
Yeah, he just said, oh God, oh God.
Hold on a second. Can I call in from my telephone? Let me ask Grok real quick. I think that a bug flew in my eye.
These people are so freaking bizarre. It's bizarro land, bro.
Only Dave.
A lot worse than his friends were leading.
I was cutting hot peppers and I
on
touched my eye.
Who don't watch WWE may not understand Hulk Hogan's impact, but
Bro,
as you know,
he's trying to shake it off. He's trying to shake it off, bro.
Come on, Danny, shake it off.
We may not understand Hulk Hogan's impact, but as you know, and as you've chronicled, he was one of the most
chronicled PWT.
well-known people in the world. The New York.
He's gonna just start crying.
He's trying so hard, bro, to ignore it, but something's burning the shit out of his eyes, man. Oh my God!
The hair dye. It's the product. I'm sweating, and it's
him in the
bro. Hold on. Wait a minute.
I know where you're going with this.
Bro, I guarantee you, because he was going on News Nation, it's a fresh dye job. I guarantee you, bro, that's why he's wearing black.
That's what it is, 100%.
In his eyes, because he just dyed his hair for the show, bro. That is it in a freaking nutshell, no doubt.
Oh my God! Look at him. He looks like his whole face is about to well up.
That's exactly what happened. He got that dye shit in his eyes right before he did this show. Oh,
that's so true.
In blasé Manhattan, where the likes of Jackie O and Mr. T have been observed walking the streets unhindered, Hulk Hogan cannot go 10 feet.
That might have been the best one.
Been observed walking the streets unhindered.
He's crying.
He's definitely crying, man. He's
reptilians exist, Bryan.
He's in trouble, man. If they go to
this will be on one of those like Illuminati Twitter account compilations. Look, lizards
cannot go 10 feet.
Well, Hogan in the 80s, I mean, he was just so recognizable, and he was. For the time, at the time, you have people who are just giant in culture, Taylor Swift and people like that now. And he was one of those people. He was just everyone knew him. Everyone still knows him. So yeah, as far as a cultural name from wrestling, him and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, are the two.
Dwayne Dewey, I actually know him.
And, it can't be overstated, but his effect on wrestling can't be overstated because the changes in wrestling in the 80s where Vince McMahon took the company.
I'm sorry if you guys are trying
bro, I swear to God. Bro, I swear to God, the producer is purposely not calling for a full screen of Dave. He purposely is not calling for it.
Oh my God.
Bro, I invented producing, bro.
Effect on wrestling can't be overstated because the changes in wrestling in the 80s where Vince McMahon took the company WWE from a regional company to a national company, he knew
this was the big show, bro. This was streaming News Nation. I gotta look like I'm freaking 20 years younger, bro. And he got dye in his freaking eyes and he looks like a jackass.
100% I believe that because of the black shirt.
No, go and check out Castrating the Marks, Vince Russo's brand, guys.
No doubt, bro. No doubt.
Larger than life to put in as the face of the company. And Hogan was clearly the guy. If you take Hogan out of the equation,
bro, pause this for a second. Just Google real quick. Can hair dye burn your eyes?
Chemicals in some hair colorings can cause burns if they get on your skin or in your eyes.
There you go. Okay.
Google.
If temporary dye product gets into the eyes,
Yo, that's funny as fuck. Could you Google does hair dye burn eyes?
that's what we're seeing. That looks like
Oh my God. See, it caught up with him, bro. It's freaking caught up with him, man. Unreal.
higher wrestling changes. I don't know what it changes to. And in the end,
look how wet his eyes are, bro. Look at him. And bro, if you notice, he's got the lights dimmed too. Like that's all part of it, bro. Because he don't want you to see.
A few companies, because that's just how cable TV was going to change things.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as culturally making wrestling big, acceptable, being on NBC and things like that, you take Hogan out of the equation. I don't think it gets as big as it did in the 80s or as big as it got in the 90s, because he kicked off the 90s boom too.
Right. You actually wrote on X that more people paid to see him perform over the course of his career than any other single person. That's incredible.
Any single pro wrestler for sure. You know, any
well,
single
let
person.
me correct that. And the thing with Dave too is that he was like diminishing Hulk at the time, and the only reason they brought you on here is because they type into Google, they go, who's most well known with covering wrestling, and then Dave Meltzer automatically comes up, okay, and then they just look for tweets to put Hulk over and be like, Hulkster was awesome because of this. We're trying to honor him. We're not trying to do anything distasteful. And Dave's like, oh, well, wrestlers, in the territory days, it was different, Bryan. I mean, Kelsey. I mean, what's your name? Sorry, there's fucking Just for Men in my eyes right now because I dyed my eyebrows too. It was a kit. It came with a mini brush, Bryan.
No, I'm sure that there's, concert people and some people.
Concert people. They're not like those people, though. They're not those people who perform at the concerts like Cuervo, but concert people
who probably would do stadiums and all that. But as far as a
concert people is what he calls like, oh, I'm sure that there's some musicians and some artists that are out there who fucking he's concert people. There's concert people. What the fuck are you talking about?
Wrestler goes. There were people who were bigger in certain years.
Like, look at the look on her face. She's sitting there. Whoa, what concert people? You mean like Michael Jackson? What the fuck are you talking about?
But he was big from early 80s through, and still.
She's like, he's super famous now, dipshit. We're all fucking talking about him. It's all the news is all fucking week. 17 fucking tribute shows. People pay. TMZ's doing docs. Fox fucking paying for these shits. What are you talking about? He's still relevant. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, he was big. I mean, through the 80s and 90s. But then, when Will Ospreay came on the scene, things really changed, Bryan.
Really big through like 98-ish and had comebacks in the 2000s. But considering the number of shows and all that, no, nobody would even be close. I mean, as far as like shows with big crowds, your 70,000 plus, with Orndorff, 78,000 with Andre the Giant.
See, he has to go on record and go, it was 78,000 with Andre. It wasn't 93. Imagine him doing that for AEW.
TV ratings like no
fucking do it. It's insane. I can't even believe he had to go on the record and bring up Andre. I predicted it. He can't let it go.
Nobody has ever seen in this generation. I mean, the numbers that he put up on Saturday night's main event which aired at 11:30 on Saturday night,
right?
With kids from 2 to 11. I looked at those numbers, and I mean, literally a quarter of the kids in the country are watching him at close to midnight. I mean, under 11.
Yeah,
it was. If you look at those numbers, they will just blow your mind. I mean, especially compared to today. I mean, he once had 28 million people. Watch his match with Andre the Giant.
Grok was wrong. It wasn't 33 million like everyone remembers. It was more like 28. See, he's trying to put it over, but diminish it at the same time.
We
point that out so often.
Yeah. I think she wants out.
I would want out.
Listen, my son was one of the fans.
Blinky. No, Blinky. We got it, Blinky.
Get out of here.
Match with Andre the Giant on NBC.
Well, listen, my son was one of the fans of WWE, not when Hulk Hogan was wrestling, but just a few years ago. And you're right, that age group, like they started getting really into it when they're 8, 9 years old. It's incredible. Dave Meltzer, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching.
Danny Meltzer, man. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Dan Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. And you know what they say.
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.